Hello, guys. Welcome back. Greg Silberman here, Alternative Investment CIO. I've been a Chief Investment Officer for most of my career, and I've been specifically participating in private markets like private equity and venture capital and private real estate. And I eventually kind of got bored of all that, believe it or not, and I decided I wanted to look for specific niche areas which had the great prospect for large upside, but of course large downside, right? So investments that would go straight to big fat naught. And then I discovered all different niche ideas. One idea was the uranium and nuclear market and the next bull market. I was around in 2000 to 2007 for the last uranium bull market. I was in Australia at the time, and it was a good time. So we like to catch these waves. This might be another wave. This is our Come Learn With Me session on uranium. And if you stick to the end, I'll tell you how you can get in touch with me if you're interested to be an investor. All right, let's go. Nuclear energy industry angles for bigger role in Washington and U.S. as climate change accelerates. All right. Nice prospective bullish argument. Hal Brenton. Columbia Generating Station, Benton County. Clad in yellow suits, 3 workers took position on a steel bridge inside the concrete reactor building of Washington's only nuclear power plant. Wow, how's that for a view, huh? Okay. Below them stretched a pool of water 55 feet deep. It acted like a protective shield, blocking the radiation emanating from the submerged core. Peering down, they could see a deep blue glow, the eerie underwater signature of charged particles surging from bundles of fuel rods. Well written. It was May 12, and the high-stakes task of refueling this power plant was about to begin. These are uranium pellets behind me, by the way. This reactor's electricity, enough to power the city of Seattle on a typical day, has gained a new importance as Washington seeks by mid-century to largely eliminate the greenhouse gas emission from oil, gas, and coal that contribute to global warming. And the plant's operators have joined in a broader push by the U.S. nuclear industry to play a bigger long-term role in America's energy future. For more than a month, rotating crews used a remote-operated grapple to slowly remove these bundles and reposition others in a giant jigsaw puzzle of a job. I like to highlight points to come back to interesting points. In a command center, managers gathered every 4 hours to monitor progress on the refueling and more than 1,000 other maintenance tasks to get the plant back online for another 2 years of operation. Nothing is routine, says Bob Schwitz, sorry, Bob, the CEO for Plant Operator Energy Northwest. There's Bob. Very clean environment, huh? Veteran of the U.S. Navy's nuclear submarine fleet, huh? Yes, I know another gentleman. Bob Schutz came to work on Energy Northwest and was named CEO this summer here. He's shown at the plant during the spring refueling. Columbia Generating Station is part of a fleet of more than 90 U.S. commercial nuclear reactors that in 2020 produced 1/5 of the nation's electricity and did so without the direct combustion of fossil fuels. 20%. That's a lot. In pitching for more investment in nuclear energy, the industry officials have found allies among some environmentalists who have concluded that the rapid escalating planetary threat from climate change, hammered home in recent summers by extreme heat, wildfire, and powerful hurricanes. Now, sure. And the focus of United Nations conferences that opened Sunday in Scotland justifies keeping the current generation of nuclear plant open as long as possible. They are also supporting efforts to build a new generation of smaller, more nimble nuclear reactors that could pour power into the regional grids and could help prevent blackouts. Now, what do you mean? Mini reactors, right? Columbia Generating Station, how it works. The boiling water. This is okay. Inside the reactor is reactor core. Guys, this is the guide to a nuclear power reactor. This is how it works. Fuel pellets. Here's your uranium. Uranium is very dense. There's actually very small quantities of uranium are required to fill the rods. Uranium is a very dense form of energy, very heavy. Cold water, here's your coolant, condenser. At the end of the day, you're boiling water to create steam, right? That's always the turbine effect. Oh, there's the turbine. And where is it? It's down, there's Washington State, middle of the state. Okay. See, come learn with me, huh? Wind and solar can do a hell of a lot of the lift, but when you say it can do all of it, that's magical thinking, said Steve Hamburg, chief scientist at the Environmental Defense Fund. The demand for low-carbon electricity will grow dramatically in the years ahead as U.S. power producers in Washington State and elsewhere shut down coal and natural gas plants. In 2019, fossil fuels generated more than 60% of the nation's power. And even in Washington, where hydropower is abundant, they account for more than 22% electricity. Yeah. Columbia Generating Station currently ranks as the third largest source of power in the Pacific Northwest, behind the Grand Coulee and Chief Joseph dams. It was built in the desert, some 10 miles north of Richland and just west of the Columbia River. The plant can generate about 1,200 megawatts of power, that is light, and the $649 million plan now under construction would boost the capacity by as much as 15% by early 2033. This project, which requires nuclear regulatory commission approval, could be done by using more uranium fuel in the reactor and upgrades to the turbine and other parts of the plant. The plant is licensed to operate until 2043, and Energy Northwest officials in the years ahead are likely to seek a license renewal to operate until 2063. Cool. It's fascinating, huh? As we phase out of these carbon generation sources, we want to be part of the solution, said Brad Sawatsky, who served as Energy's Northwest CEO until he retired at the end of June. Still, there are questions and intense debate about the future of nuclear power, with many environmentalists wary or outright opposed to a bigger role for it. Sure. Guys, I think we've got a novel on our hands over here. All right, we're going to have to skip through this one, because we'll never get to the end. So it's very interesting. You can just read and read, right? Let's see. Right, phase out the U.S. nuclear industry. Still lacks a long-term site where spent nuclear fuel removed from reactors can be safely stored for thousands of years. Blast it into space. I keep telling you guys, put it on a SpaceX rocket, and blast it into outer space. That it will remain radioactive and pose a risk to human health and the environment. Yucca Mountainside in Nevada, 1,000 underground storage repository, sparked an avalanche of protests and was banned by the Obama administration. And cite the legacy of environmental degradation, health impacts of mining and processing uranium fuel, and the risk of nuclear accidents. Yeah. Okay. Some fossil fuels are used to produce the fuel. All right. Two South Carolina plants. Utilities spent $9 billion in a failed effort to build 2 nuclear reactors that were banned in 2017, with the project less than 40% complete. Twin reactors under construction in Georgia was supposed to begin generating power in 2016. The project is not yet finished and costs topping $27 billion. Mini reactors, that's what's needed. Defaults, yeah, it's been a tough road for the nuclear energy business. That's why prices are as low as they are right now. Could go lower, not investment advice, folks. Got to keep saying that. Splitting atoms. We did a good article on splitting atoms. I recommend you take a look at the history and check it out. Water boils as it circulates. Each fuel rod is packed with fingertip-sized pellets of processed uranium that generates heat through the splitting of billions of atoms each second. I like that. Well written, this article. I was a good writer. After cooling water pools for 5 years, the bundle of spent nuclear fuel rods are replaced with stainless steel canisters that are put in concrete casks for temporary storage outside the Columbia generation So they're going to concrete over that. Huh? Well, those are concrete casts. Okay, wow. Just to give you a sense of size, right? That is over here. That's a lamppost. So they look like they're as high as earthquakes are a particular problem. Columbia Generating Station. So that's just steam. That's clean energy, folks. No carbon being emitted out of that. That's steam, water. Wow. Okay. All right. Should said plant official the weather BPO is very interested in getting Columbia Generating Station back online. Okay, so they talk about the success of the refueling operation at the Columbia Generation Station. Well, guys, this is a long article, good article, packed with a lot of information. You know, you get to see it gives you an inside look, I guess, into the industry, which is what we want. So you see that the industry is not in line with the science or the prospects. The prospects are much more opportunistic than what the industry is in currently. So that's a good sign. Anyway, guys, let me finish up. I'll just say that if you are interested in learning more about our investment program as it pertains to uranium and nuclear energy, head over to this website. Take a look at what you see. You can contact me on it, and you can see some of our background information on the space and where we're putting our investments. So thanks very much for joining me. This is Greg Silverman for another session of Come Learn with Me, our uranium segment. Out, right?